Speaking of items, we got a couple last week from the blacksmith. Tell us about those.
Oh yeah, we got this hammer. Well, I should really start from the beginning. Way back when there was two goblins that fell in love, but really they just wanted child labor.
Too far back. Yo, who's got the remote? Who's got the remote?
Okay, so last time I was hanging out in the barn, and Godric was there, obviously causing a scene.
Checks out so far.
Our friends left to go take care of some mysterious business, but I was tired because walking really far is like extra far in goblin steps because goblins have little legs. Fast little legs, but they're little. And so I was very tired. So I stepped into my role as my very fantastic persona, Jordan Hillstone, the freaking bookkeeper for the Giant Strides Trading Company. He's a dwarf, you see. And so he was hanging out, keeping an eye on the riffraff, making sure they didn't mess with Godric. Of course, Godric has some insecurities, so he wants to impress everybody by jumping down into the pit and pulling on an ox for some reason. I insulted him a little bit because he was giving it a pretty poor show to begin with, but then he pulled himself together, really gave that thing one good yank, and not in the sexual way like one might expect. Anyway, so they were down there, and then...
Because he said yank.
Yeah, yank. And then on top of that, he was trying to impress the owner of this little blue fairy establishment. And so he was telling her all kinds of wild stories about our adventures. Of course, Trin couldn't let that happen. Who's that? Some goblin, but they don't like goblins around these parts. So, of course, I stepped in and made sure that she was aware that he was really drunk. Of course, Godric didn't really want to go along with that because he was trying to impress the young maiden. Anyway, I managed to convince him to have a little tact and conceal our stories. He wasn't very happy about it, and I'm pretty sure he bears some resentment against me for it. He considers it lies if you don't come out with all of the truth all of the time to everyone who has an ear to listen. Anyway, we were doing this.
I'm feeling attacked.
You should.
Well, good.
Anyway, when we were doing this, we were psychically connected to our friends, sharing telepathic messages. Apparently, our new elf friend, Eartheon, got in some trouble with some freaking ironworker or mason or something. Anyway, they were having a bit of a tit for tat, and apparently this other wizard named Thane stepped in. Apparently, Eartheon is a lawbreaker, despite the fact that he's a lawkeeper, and started trying to cast magic to intimidate this very large and in charge armorer, right? So, anyway, they had a little spit and a spat and a tit for tat. And then when it was all said and done, the armorer went away, and they went and had a little discussion with Thane. Thane said he would smooth things over with his armorer. And apparently that seemed to work fairly well. They left. They didn't really get what they wanted. They were looking for the information about his daughter, Bridget. Apparently she's a descendant from a great lineage of freaking smiths that can make special weapons utilizing this ancient forge that would really benefit us when trying to fight evil dragons in the coming wars that are sure to be quite harrowing, terrorizing. Anyway, so they doubled back and, kind of calmed Godric down because he was running out trying to save them, making a scene as soon as he got some telepathic messages from his friend Locke. I tried to smooth things over. It didn't necessarily go very well. He offended some folks. Those folks being some giant slayer and stuff. I have it written down. Anyway, it's in my notes. That's when I keep this ledger, which is actually just a fake ledger for the Giant Strides Trading Company. Ask me that on our Discord. Anyway, so I tried to smooth things over, paid for them to have a nice night. And then after everything was said and done, Godric wanted to come back and apologize when I tried to warn him about the fact that this lady has a reputation for killing giants. And, well, as a Goliath, Godric is a little bit of giant in him, so if she can kill, full giants, a little giant she could probably wipe the floor with. Anyway, I tried to stop him, and I washed my hands of the situation. The others were on their way back, and he went in and somehow managed to smooth things over. She punched him in the face, though. He was quite impressed. Anyway, so all of that happened. I was honestly surprised he walked out with his life. I know he's pretty strong, but I don't know, she has a fearsome reputation and quite the attitude, so I figured she might give him a run for his money. After everything was said and done, we were pretty tired, and so we decided to call it a night. In the morning, we discussed the happenings of the previous day, and while Godric, Locke, and Otheon wanted to go shopping, they decided that it would be best if myself, Trlin, I'm Trlin the Goblin, not actually a dwarf, but they decided that it would be best if Trlin the Suave Goblin and his dwarf persona were to go with Katarina, our very polite and charming sorceress, to go smooth things over and try and find some additional details about this smith's daughter. Turns out she's adopted, and he's quite perturbed because when she left, she also took his son with her, and so he's really concerned about their well-being, but he's pretty sure that she's going to do well out there because she is quite the spirit. Anyway, he also thought it was odd that I didn't have a weapon, so I tried to convince him, I'm just a bookkeeper, but he thought it would be best if I could protect myself, so he gave me this fantastic sword, and he also gave Katarina one of her smithing tools to help divine her location using magic and sparkly things. Anyway, we go to head back, and the others are still shopping. Who knows what they bought? I'm pretty sure they're broke, though. Anyway, we're on our way back, and then we ran into some mysterious strangers. They seem like cowboys with spurs and guns, but apparently they're raiders, and they work for Clyde Raiders. Anyway, Giles Raiders. I got it wrong. It's a lot to go over. Lots of things happened. It was exciting. You should have been there. Anyway, so we got stopped. We're not really sure what they want, but they want the big one, which I'm assuming is our Goliath friend. I don't know whether or not we should turn him over. We are friends, though, but I don't really know what they want. So I suppose we'll find out tonight in another episode of Legendary Action.
Yay!
Yay! I had time to write my novel.
You wanted to know what happened, so I told you. Next time, if you don't want to know, don't ask.
It's sound logic. I'm just saying.
I'll tell my wife, Helda Hillstone, all about this. She loves my stories from my adventures. She doesn't actually exist, but I like to pretend because I don't have a family of my own.
Is she like the youngest of like 60?
Well, I mean, I like a wife and child and people that love and care about me.
Out of 60, no one loves you?
There's gotta be at least one.
Well, you see, love is a strange word. Like, I like having servants too. I don't have any, but I would like to have servants. Child labor, you see. Goblins. It's fun. It's like when you have a farm and you don't have money to hire people, so you keep having babies.
But you still like your
free
brothers
labor.
and sisters.
Well, some of them. Some of them are itassos. One of them ate another one.
Yeah, it's definitely a goblin thing.
It was a fierce competition.
Yeah, I'm still going back to goblins. You just suck. Besides Fred.
Well, I mean, in the womb, they were supposed to be twins, but one like absorbed the other or something. I don't know. The apothecary didn't really have an explanation for that, but he was quite the big goblin baby. He had these dark, glassy eyes that peered into your soul.
Like yours?
Well, I just saw my own reflection in them. Anyway.
What's our lucky number?
Where's D20?
No, somebody choose.
7.
Fireballs in the chat if you like my recap.
Lucky number 7. Ben. It's been 3 seconds and no fireballs.
Oh, no. Send your friend Alex some love.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Ouch.
We're not in charge.
If I had chat open right now, I'd send fireballs.
I'll do better.
But I don't have my chat open.
Neptune, thank you.
He also doesn't have any balls.
I love you back.
I have fireballs.
Oh, leave it alone. Love you back.
Every time.
Every time.
I'll say yes, that one was me. I apologize.
Every time.
I
Every time.
went to
Cobalt for that kind of stuff?
Well, I went to make sure
Yeah.
my phone was disconnected.
And I hit the Bluetooth button on accident.
Look, it is a book with strange scribblings. I believe these are written in common. What am I supposed to do with this?
Add items that aren't in there. That are supposed to be in there.
One wand of dragon slaying.
No, don't just. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Get to it.
5 small but rambunctious lumberjacks.
What the fuck?
No.
All rambunctious lumberjacks.
Yes.
All right.
They have to fit in the bag.
Clearly, Alex needs to do this on a different day. You can, yeah.
Yeah, I know it.
When they lack in size, they make up for in spirit. Much like a goblin.
It's like that saying, even a small axe can fell a tree eventually.
Yep.
I've heard it before, for sure.
I've gotten some dates that way. I'm just kidding.
Persistence?
Yeah. Come on. Just go on David once. Get it over with. Right?
You're really selling yourself, man.
Get past it. You know. That's where I get them.
D&D?
I grow
Yeah,
them.
let's D&D.
All right, so Giles' Raiders.
Yeah.
Everything else got burnt, so that's what I know.
Yeah, a lot of it got lost, but it is what it is. If you have any list of items, Tara, too.
I don't think I have anything in there.
I
No.
do. Well,
You're new. You have nothing in our bag of
And
And
holding.
I plan on never putting anything in it.
Hey,
It's
no.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Stuff gets
No,
destroyed.
I'm consolidating. It's going to stay at the front
Godric
of this
spends everybody
book.
else's money.
that's true. They're both broke.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah.
He's loaded. He's broke.
Yeah, that's
Because
bad.
whenever he says, hey, can I have a couple coins from the bag, he's been giving up his own money.
No, because I keep track of my own money. That is just in character asking for money that's in his chest, but it's still tracked on my character sheet.
I may have money stashed, but
Well,
in my what I have on me, I'm broke.
Yeah.
He's like a squirrel. They're like buried in trees.
Hey, we have our own chest.
Yeah, your little chest. That's empty now.
It's mostly empty.
Mostly empty now.
Anyways, we're heading back to the tavern.
You've been bankrolling us, dude. You've been bankrolling. You know how much money Trent has? He has 200 gold.
I don't.
It's quite a bit.
I don't want to say how much I have. I prefer not
Oh,
to.
I lied. I don't have two. Oh yeah, I do have 200.
Yeah, you do.
I have
I have-
We're the only one who
almost
spends
400
money
gold.
when we go out every time. And you
All
know more money
of-
than all of us?
No, I
Oh,
don't spend money all
no,
the time.
I don't.
Because like potions and stuff like that all came from the party fund.
I didn't know there was a party fund. I really am the new guy.
Yeah. Hell, a new guy.
Yeah, we split it these ways, and then we all put money into the party fund.
I tried to do that in high school.
What was it? It's supposed to be everybody's supposed to contribute 10% of their personal share to
Yeah.
the party fund.
I mean, unless you want to put
So the
more.
party fund is
I always
you gotta
I
get 10% of your income.
I always just figured the party fund gets an equal share. However many people.
That's how I thought, but like I know there's times where we all got an even cut, and then we're just like.
Well, whenever I had the bag of holding, the party fund was another person with an equal share.
That's smart. Keep doing that. That's genius.
That works.
We haven't had a
I
big
don't
payout
care.
in a while, so
Yeah, we have. We haven't. Sorry.
Can you just have one?
Of money.
of
We got a
just
bunch of
straight
items.
monies.
Yeah, we got fancy items from Lucian's house, but not like.
Yeah.
And some dirt on his family, which I'm going to use.
I don't know. The house,
against you.
the townhouse is a pretty big payout.
That's
Yeah,
true,
we
also
should
own a
probably
house
sell
now.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
we should be renting that out.
Or burn
Ooh.
it down
Yeah,
in
make
spite.
make some passive income on
Yeah.
it.
What's the housing market look like?
Well, after the purge of a whole religion, it's
Oh,
probably
no,
looking
we
a little.
crashed our own house.
Yeah, we killed a lot of people. Died. There's a lot of open houses now.
It's buyer's
It's
market.
buyer's market. Let's get on it.
Let's crank up those interest rates, people.
If it's buyer's market, let's just go spend all my platinum and buy all these houses.
How much platinum do you
I
have?
told you he's loaded.
Enough to buy multiple houses.
He's
I feel like that's wrong.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't
"Here's
have
my
that much."
backstory. I
All
have
jokes
500 platinum.
I don't have.
I worked a mysterious job
I do
with my
not have.
backstory.
I do not have over 50 platinum.
Okay,
In my
that's
backstory,
that's
I
about
have
right.
A
then.
ring of
We spent
500
a lot.
gold, right?
Yeah. That's. I still
After
feel
what
like
you
that's a
spent
couple of
last
houses.
No,
Fucked.
What?
No.
A couple hovels.
Just buy a house for $500.
I thought platinum was like, oh yeah, platinums are hundreds. 10 platinums like 1,000.
What?
One platinum,
You
10
keep
gold.
saying it wrong.
What?
One
No,
platinum.
no,
One
in
zero.
dollars. In like when you're thinking.
to like our.
You would need like 100 platinum to equal like 10,000.
No,
Maybe
now
1,000.
do rubles.
Yeah, it'd be 1,000.
We're not converting the fake money into real money, so
That's
don't
what-
worry about it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
that's wild.
Isn't that
Exactly.
cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Yes. Shut up.
Doge wow.
Don't wow. Much wow to the moon.
How'd your
Yeah,
Doge
much louder than
speculation go?
Anyways,
Yeah,
Could have
we're
better.
You should have been here last night and we could have talked all about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're all the way
A
up
buddy
in
of mine from work
Yerington.
quit the other day because he
But
made
you're all the way
enough money
back out
to
in
no longer work
Yerington.
for me.
Hey man, I kind of chose where I live, but that's where the job
He put
was.
his entire
Yeah.
house into it.
Anyway, so
That was a big gamble.
I did the recap. Don't point at me.
But you're in the situation.
You're so defensive.
fine.
I'm
I'll
defensive.
point at these two. Whatever. Doesn't make
Yeah, point at them. You want some help? Ah.
Just
Clearly,
everybody
you're
point.
his favorite, so.
That's not
What would make you think that?
true.
I have.
The
The
big
fact that
English.
they can't read that makes me happy. You're too
No,
short.
they 100% can read it.
Audience, I'm pretty sure you can read, and if you can't, that's okay. Everyone starts somewhere.
That's not what I was stating. but Okay.
Oh. I'm just.
Just
I love you.
Mike accuses
Love
the
you.
chat of not being able to read.
You buffoons.
Good job. It works in the WWE. Some people need to be villains.
Yeah.
You're the heel.
Yep. Kind of is.
The greatest barbarian in legendary action. Cream of the crop.
Oh god. All right, so we're just gonna start playing now then, so that way
Please,
we start getting
please.
distracted by Alex.
Thank God.
So the three of the individuals are kind of just standing there, waiting for. I believe we're waiting for a response from the two of you, because they told you the boss wanted to see you.
Charles Raider.
If you want to know what a disruptive player looks like at your table, you got one. There you go. Take it, clip it, reference it, show it to other DMs on the internet. Be like, this is your reference for a disruptive player.
He's just gonna keep going, keep narrating him over the top of it. He'll never stop. He's just gonna keep soundboarding.
I
Hey,
cannot
Kobold, can
guarantee
you-
that
hey,
the other
hey.
people can hear me.
Kobold, can you mute him so he loses all power in this situation?
Thank you, Tabletop Audio.
And he's been muted. Thank God.
All right. But yeah, so
So they asked where the big guy was? Because the boss was looking for him? Is what they
yeah,
said?
pretty much.
I'm not sure which big man you're speaking of.
Kind of looks to his right, looks back at you. Well, I mean, it's obvious, ain't it?
I'm afraid not. Enlighten me.
Well, we saw you all come in together. There's only one man that big in the whole town.
Ah, that one.
Ah, that one. Yeah, that one.
And who was looking for him, did you say?
Giles, the boss.
I'm not sure I've heard that name before.
Wouldn't surprise me. It's obvious you're all not from around here.
Oh,
Remember to unmute him since he wants to play now.
oh, yes, I do want to play. Giles, you say?
Yeah,
Is that-
that's
is
what I
that-
said.
That's the boss man you're talking about.
That's our boss, man. Yeah.
What kind of business might you be wanting with our large friend?
Well, that's between the two of them. We were just told to ask if you wanted to come meet him.
Do you have, like, an address?
He's at the same place you're at. He's already waiting for you.
I don't know. These guys look a little suspicious to me. I want some more.
Look, if you don't want what the boss is offering, then I guess your other friends can take it up with him when they get there. But
You said he's waiting at the tavern for us?
Maybe.
What is it that the boss seems to be offering?
Again, that's between the two of them.
It seems that we owe our friend a conversation. Do we have to answer now, or can we relay your message?
You can relay the message. You're just the first two that we saw when we came out.
Are these the same gentlemen that I saw the night that we arrived that were hanging out in the corner that left? I believe I remember one of them carried a firearm of sorts.
All three of these gentlemen seem to be carrying some sort of firearm.
Do they look as though they would be competent in their fighting capability? Do they look dangerous? Do they have shifty eyes?
You make a perception check.
Oh, I'll give them the once over, I will. I'll percept the crap out of them. Let me hit a perception. That's performance. That's not perception. Ah! My dice is fuzzy. Oh, first roll of the night. It's a strong 9. Natural 1 plus 8. No, that's my performance. Where's my perception? Perceive
we have real
properly.
dice, right?
Give me a physical die. These technicalities that refuse to sponsor us are garbage. Oh, look at that. It's a 6 plus 3. A 9. All the same.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. So, I mean, you're not really sure, man. You actually can't get like a gauge on whether or not they're competent. They look prepared.
Oh, that's the first step. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I don't know. I can't get a lead on these ones. I say we just meet up with the big guy as soon as possible. Maybe see what he has to say about the situation. If we relay your message, would the big guy be aware of the circumstances revolving around this meeting and whatever possible, like, past grievances there may be? Or would this be news to him? You don't have to tell me the details. I'm just trying to assess the situation as we appear to be quite in a pickle.
So he kind of just like walks over to you. He's like, "Look, dwarf, we are in on what's going on, and I have no idea how the boss would feel about it. Never, as far as I know, they've never met before. Look,
Right.
You either want jobs or you don't, and you can take that up with the boss."
Apparently this is about jobs. See, we've gotten some information. That's Terrowyn
That's
Hillstone to you.
what I said the first time.
Oh, I must have some minerals in my ears, being a dwarf and all. Anyway,
Or a small brain, one or the other.
We will relay your message. Where can they find you?
You just ask Tilly where he's at.
all right, I have one more.
Frequents the Blue Fairy all the time. It's where we are.
I have one more question. What is your name, sir?
I don't really feel like I want to tell you because you kind of weird me out.
All
I'm gonna
right,
be honest.
all right, Mr. Mystery Man, you're going in my book of grudges. As soon as I find my book and write it down, just letting you know.
He's like, all right. Just raises his hands. All right, guys, let's go. They all turn and continue walking up the street, leaving you
Yeah,
be.
they'll keep walking if they know what's good for them. But in all seriousness, we should go tell Godric.
Let's. And I'll start heading back to the Blue Fairy.
Okay. So it just so happens that in heading back to the Blue Fairy, you end up running into your other compatriots in the street. The busy streets filled with people going about their business in their day, going into the various stores and cleaning, hanging their laundry, and just everyday run-of-the-mill people. The table claim me again?
What happened?
You guys all ran into each other, so now you're here to exchange information.
Apparently, Godric literally ran into us.
Yeah. I feel sorry for whoever he ran into.
No way, he stepped on a Lego. All that weight just right down.
Godric, come down here, you fool!
Sorry, I did not see where you were.
Speaking of which, Katerina has something to tell you.
What?
Oh, hang on.
Sure. We ran into some
Hello.
men that called themselves Giles's Raiders. Have you heard of them?
You know what? No, not a fucking clue.
Well, apparently they've heard of you.
I'm famous.
Right.
They mentioned that their boss was looking for you and insinuated that they may have a job for you or us to do while we're here.
When are we supposed to meet?
All they said is to ask Tilly where their boss would be. They did not seem to know much.
What was the names of them?
Giles's Raiders?
Gile?
She literally just told you that, Godric.
I like to confirm things. It helps me remember them.
Hmm.
She says it once, I repeat it, I confirm it. It's in there like 4 times.
Then should I tell you again that she literally just said it?
No, because you're not saying it again.
She literally just said it.
That's not helping.
Well, that's all the information they seem to have. They didn't seem to know anything about their bosses.
All right, then, so we head back to the Blue Ferry, and...
Well, I mean, we're heading there anyway, but does it really matter? We don't need a job. We have one. What did you find from the Ironworks? Was he just as rude as last time?
No, actually, we had a very pleasant conversation. We'll speak when we're alone.
Oh, boy.
I think would be better.
He even gave me a parting gift as I showed the blade he threw to me.
It seems incredibly well crafted. Did he make that?
Yeah, I get a little.
You know what? We really didn't
Start
get to
doing
cover
something.
that. I'm assuming so. It took quite the shine to me.
Well, he took quite the shining to Dwarven you.
Yes, right. What about you? Did you make off with some fine booty? What?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Never mind.
I'm trying to think of a word for stuff. That wasn't stuff.
Just use the word stuff. It's okay.
Stuff!
There's nothing wrong with the word stuff.
So if you're gonna slow lean and say booty.
We found some things, but that's not very important right now. Can I see it, or I just felt it?
You just felt it.
Do I know
What?
if it succeeded?
You're not sure?
Secret messages.
So, well then, let us continue going. I will talk to this,
No,
judge. What?
out here.
Whoa.
You all can go ahead. I'll meet up with you in a few minutes.
Luck.
No, we'll talk later.
Fine. Back to the tavern then.
Yes, take these, and I give you the potions of healing and whatnot that we got from. You're carrying them or whatever.
Yeah, I'm curious. So we have one more superior that I hand to somebody.
I mean, we can
wants
put
it.
them all in the bag too. Whatever you want to do.
No. We're divvying out potions. They will be on people's bodies. God damn it.
Okay. Well,
I do
then
not want to
here's-
I don't want to have an action to pull the bitch out of the bag.
All right,
You
well-
just take a moment to just divvy out the potions.
Yeah,
It's not a big
so
deal.
we have.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
But,
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But I do pull out of the bag of holding a blank, notebook full of blank pages, and the knock scroll. These are for you, and we will
Oh,
do something with that later. Just hold on to them.
wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyhow, scurry along. I'll be behind.
Well, should you need us, I'm sure you have ample magics.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be all right.
Enjoy your quiet time. I know I would.
I will.
As I glance at Godric.
Actually, I don't speak.
We scurry along,
I
suppose.
I don't speak Elven.
Oh.
Well, see you later.
Everyone, he's an elf.
I try in the closest language that there is that I know to Elven, which is Gnomish, and say, does anyone here speak Gnomish? Hopefully, Katarina or Oltheon.
That sounded like Gnomish.
Is he speaking in tongues again? Do I have to reset you?
No. I'm just hoping that whoever is listening doesn't.
I know Gnomish.
Excellent. So, hoping that whoever's listening, possibly, doesn't understand Gnomish, I say to you, excellent. Can you see invisibility or invisible things?
That is a good question.
What's going on?
I'm like 99% sure that was me.
I don't think so.
No.
I switch back to Common. Do you speak languages other than Common and Elven?
Yes, I speak a great deal of languages.
Dwarven?
Yes.
Excellent. I switch to Dwarven. Can you see invisibility? Do you have a way to...
Well, I mean, the very nature of invisibility would mean it can't be seen.
A spell.
Hey,
I'm
John,
asking
can you
if you
check
have a
the
spell.
speaker?
Of course.
Would
Can
would
you check the
smelling
speaker?
work as I speak
Is
in
it
Dwarvish?
on? Did it
No.
die? Because I'm not hearing any audio from it anymore.
No, you could not.
No.
Alright.
And you need a spell.
I know that I have the ability to do so, but
Not
I was
prepared.
not prepared for it today.
All right, then. I'll stay here. You all go ahead. Someone's scrying on me.
Huh?
Oh,
Yes, it did. Oh.
It died?
well,
Can you check the
So-
power connection and stuff and make sure it's all like connected?
I may be able to do something with
Is
that.
it connected on the outlet
I'll
side?
have to
though?
do some reading, though.
I can't dispel it without knowing where the eye is, and I can't see it, but I felt them. So,
Yeah, but what's the charger?
I don't know if they succeeded or
That's what I'm
not.
asking.
Yeah, the charger first.
Simply,
Well, they've tried to scry on you, correct?
I felt it, yes.
Okay. I take off my cloak and hold it over to you. Wear it with the hood up.
So I put the cloak on over my simple
Actually,
robe.
I should double check to make sure that's not an attunement-based thing.
It's probably attunement.
It probably is.
Most things are.
Anything really worthwhile
Oh.
usually is.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I go back to.
No, never mind. I'll just put the hood up on myself.
Okay, fair enough. I'll go back to Gnomish. Say, oh, Katarina, someone is trying to scry on me. So I can't see the arcane eye right this moment. But I know that they can't see much more than myself, and so we should separate for now. I was just hoping you had something to see, something invisible.
Understood. Unfortunately, I do not hold that ability.
All right. Well, then I'll stay here. All of you should move ahead.
I'll say to you in Dwarvish now that the hood is up. I'm protected from those kind of magics as long as I wear this cloak.
Hmm.
I could stay with you and they'd have no idea I was here.
Very well. It makes me feel better. Yes, I'd like that. I'll switch back to Gnomish. Katarina, take the others and... Well, again, actually, Trin. Trin, do you speak either of those languages?
No!
Do you speak Giant?
No!
Then I don't want to ask him.
You would know I speak Elven. But that's about it. And Goblin! Very
Common.
fluent Goblin!
And common.
In common, of course, common. Duh, common. I talk to people all the time in common. It's one of my
Super
most
proficient.
commonly used language.
Actually, I want to, now that Locke is less dealing with it this way, I want to do an Arcana check on the Scry spell. If I felt it, does that mean it failed?
You try.
You
Can always try.
That's a good idea.
As we walk away and leave them to whatever unfortunate fate.
21.
Church bells of Parathor.
They ring every hour, was it?
Anyhow,
On it.
I'm
Well,
just going to take a walk.
enjoy the weather.
I will. I just kind of start strolling away from the Blue Fairy.
Sounds
I'll go with
like it's
you.
about dinner time. Shall we return to the tavern?
Crimson
Yes,
Hood
I
up.
have a meeting with somebody I've never met before.
Seems so. Alright, yeah, the three of us will head back to the tavern.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, it means you're pretty sure it failed.
Okay.
You would not have noticed if it did.
I need to find a see invisibility scroll.
Here's the thing.
It's a useful utility spell.
Sure is.
All right, so you all continue to the Blue Fairy, right?
I actually might have it in my spell book. Let me check. Certainly not prepared.
Open up some other stuff here.
You know, it would be a shame if all of this was actually a trap. And there's no jobs to be had.
Well, then there should be a head to be had then.
I suppose.
And goddamn story dogs.
Bork, bork.
Street dogs in the street running around.
No, I do not have
I
that
must say,
spell.
Opium does have a point, right? There would be no reason for us to take a small job in this town.
It depends what he's doing. I mean, it really depends what the price is. Because if he's offering a lot, it might be worth doing. We gain knowledge by listening, and we gain nothing by not listening.
I do feel that our current mission is time sensitive.
I imagine it probably won't pay that much unless it's quite the insurmountable
He was
task.
asking for me. The least I can do is meet him face to face and tell him no. Too busy.
I suppose that's true. We can't quite leave just yet.
And plus, we're not leaving right away anyway. With what else is going on?
What else is going on?
Yeah. With that, Locke, he wanted to take his walk, so he'll probably be gone for a bit. We can't do anything until he comes back.
I'm only taking 10 minutes.
So the Blue Fairy, since you guys have been there, has some early morning or early afternoon patrons, people coming in working from shifts out in the fields and trying to get out of the sun. Individuals are coming in, picking up goods from the tavern. You don't see anybody who matches the description or looks like they match any of the supposed raiders that you met earlier. Everything seems mundane enough. Nobody stands out as any kind of as dangerous or strange in any way. Just normal, everyday people just kind of coming in and trying to get a drink and take a break for the day.
Oh, shall we find a seat or try and track down Tilly? Apparently, she would know where the stranger is at.
It may be better to find out if this is worth our time or not as quickly as we can.
I'm gonna approach that. I'll go check the bar. Checking this.
He really wants to impress her. Getting that quality time in, you know.
Well, I wish him good luck.
I'm gonna walk up to the bar, the bar, and look for the barkeep if there is one at the moment.
I'm trying to fix something real quick. All right. Yeah, there appears to be a like kind of a not necessarily burly, but actually like a fairly fit, kind of stocky young man working behind the bar. He doesn't look like he is like working the bar, but he's just like taking crates in and out of the storage room, and like he seems like he's looking to tap like a new cake that they're putting up.
Pardon me.
So he kind of just turns. Yeah, yes, sir.
A couple of questions. Is Tilly around by chance?
I haven't seen her yet today. She normally comes in kind of late.
Then two things. One, have you ever heard of I believe it was Giles Riders? As I speak a little lower.
It's like, I mean, yeah, everybody pretty much knows him around here.
If they come asking about you or looking for you, is that a good or a bad thing?
Why? Did you do something really messed up to him or something? Or
Not that I'm aware of. All I know is that apparently they were asking for
have
me.
you met him before? Because you're not from here, obviously.
Not that I can recall.
No, then it's probably just business as usual then.
And where would they find their little leader, Giles? Apparently he comes through here often.
And he comes in here on a regular basis. This is pretty much where they hang out. They're not really welcome at most of the other establishments. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like trouble per se, but they're not always on like the correct side of like the law, if you know what I mean.
And are any of them in here now?
I haven't seen any of them in here yet today. They're hard to miss. They all wear those matching like ponchos and those what do they call them? Those guns.
No idea. But as I reach in my pouch, I pull out a silver and just kind of lay it on the counter. Thank you for your time.
It's like, all right, cool, thanks.
I walk back to you guys. It looks like they're not in yet. I'm going to wait around and see if one of them walks in anytime soon.
Well, we can hope that you just made an impression pulling the ox.
That is what my guess is.
That's true. One of them may have seen you.
That right cost them money and they want to take it from me. It has happened before.
Sorry, go ahead, Katerina.
I was just going to suggest we could sort of post up at one of these tables and
Let us have.
hang out for a while.
Are you hungry? I'll buy.
I will not turn down a free meal.
Good. So I'll go sit down. I'll go grab another chair so I can sit in two chairs, and go wave down a waitress or someone to get us some food.
Okay.
Even if it's just like light, like projecting my voice enough to say, "Where can a man get some food?"
So. Alright, so, yeah, there's basically just everything's pretty much empty except for like 3 or 4 of the tables on the lower level. So you kind of just have your choice where you feel like sitting for the most part.
Somewhere where we can see the door.
Yeah, I would say in the bottom floor, closer to the door, so that way I can. I'll be looking at it, seeing if anyone fits the description.
Okay.
If it only comes in.
I'm gonna go take a leak real quick. As I get up and I'm gonna go just like kind of case the joint and see where all back doors are and other routes of entry and egress. Just kind of get more of a lay of the land when not distracted by all the hubbub of the evening.
Okay. So, yeah, you find a spot where you can basically see the door and everybody who would possibly be coming in and out of the establishment. There's really not much to the place other than the windows upstairs overlooking like the back alley and the buildings that kind of come up next to the Blue Ferry back there. Aside from that, there seems to be the only other door is the one that goes to the stockroom, most likely from behind the bar. And then you assume there's a door on the other side of that leads to like the back alley.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Back door. Back alley door.
Back alley door? Yep.
That I assume is. Yeah. So dead end. Oh, escape. Oh no, I'm dead.
So a server comes and like takes your food order, and they're serving like a broiled salmon with potatoes and cheese wedges. So they serve that for lunch, and it's about 3 silver pieces a plate.
Then I will take 5 plates.
Okay.
What's everyone else going to eat?
Well, it'd be 4, right? Because isn't he?
Oh no, I have
He
2.
wants 3
There's
for
2 for them
himself.
and 3 for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming that they're portioned, so if I order 1, it's not enough.
Maybe. You're pretty used to you should be pretty used to living life on the road like this. Portions are fairly inconsistent. There's no like standardization to it.
I'll take 2 because I'll take advantage of the good food. Just a lot of food.
Okay.
I'll get that caloric intake.
All right.
Cut my macros, bro.
All right. So is there anything you guys want to like? You're sitting here at the table. You're hanging out, waiting for someone you recognize to come in. So what are you doing?
I was going to ask Godric. So, Trent mentioned you were trying to impress Tilly.
No, I was actually trying to get information about what's his face's daughter, and then jackass over here wants to call me a liar in front of everybody. He's
I
lucky.
know love when I see it.
You're lucky I didn't boot your head off your shoulders.
Oh, simmer down. I didn't mean to make you look bad in front of your lady friend.
I'll make you look bad in dirt if you ever make me look like a liar again.
No, I didn't say. Well, I said it was very nuanced.
Just because I'm big and I tend to have bad memory does not make me stupid, Trent.
I didn't say you were stupid. I
No.
said you were oversharing.
That is the same thing. Again, I was asking her questions, trying to get information.
In the middle of a crowded bar, I could hear you
While
from
it was
across the room.
exceedingly busy
I
and you were
apologize, I did
close.
not mean to start a fight.
You're
I
fine. He needs to learn that it is part of a group.
Oh, I understand just fine. I myself am also not dim-witted.
I simply speak in Dwarvish. You're dim-witted enough to be a dwarf and not speak this language. What's that drink from my ale?
So, has anyone caught your fancy to it, Trin?
Oh, you know, I've got a bit of a special place in my heart for a gnome I met a couple of weeks back.
That is an interesting question, actually. Are your tastes aligned with what's on the inside? Referencing.
Words are hard.
Refer.
ladies and gentlemen.
Fencing.
Referring to the fact that you're a goblin on the inside.
Wait, what was the question? I was very distracted. I was thinking of the girl I left behind.
Where? When?
What? What?
Just weeks ago, that's fairly recent.
Yeah, it was pretty recent. We shared a lovely dance.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh. Well, that's fair. She seemed nice.
It's been a long time traveling, and it was one of the few times I had an honest interaction where I wasn't just trying to swindle someone.
Do that a lot.
No, but it is very often that I have my own agenda. So yes. But it's for a good cause. You know, if you steal bread to eat,
Generally, at least from where I grew up, you had to earn your bread, and if you tried to steal it, they took your arm.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't really get much of an option. But I'm not. Anyway, so yes, I would like to see her again.
So I guess another question is, have many others fancied you that you did not reciprocate the feelings for?
I make friends everywhere I go. So I'm sure a few. Maybe I didn't necessarily feel the same way that they felt about me. But I always try and be a little sensitive when it's dealing with matters of the heart, you know.
Fair enough.
But I spied with my little eye a little spark, a little chemistry
What, between Tilly?
between you and Tilly. When you look at her, let me ask you a question, Godric. When you look at her, are colors more vibrant? Do you feel more alive?
No.
Does life become a rainbow?
No. No, but that did happen. It's happened twice now in my life.
Oh, now you've caught my interest.
I couldn't agree more.
The most recent one actually happened last night.
What
I
happened
bet
last
you-
night?
I don't know. I know you aren't talking about that lady you wronged and she punched you in the face.
So that is exactly who I'm talking about.
See,
One does not simply give a Sumerian greeting and not get, or one does not receive a Sumerian greeting and not get excited.
you know, I know you're but Goliath.
Uh-huh.
You're a man, a large man, as it were.
Uh-huh.
But I always pictured you for the rugged, traveling, rolling stone type. Not get too attached or get as not easy to flights of fancy. I interpreted your love for Miss Tilly as a drunken stupor, as your defenses were lowered as part of your intoxication. And then
I wasn't that okay, I was actually pretty intoxicated.
Yeah.
I'll let that one get.
And then by mere, being close to you, you were intoxicated by her beauty.
It was her directness that I enjoyed.
Oh, so you admit it?
What, to Tilly? I enjoyed her company, yes, but I did not immediately love at first sight.
Oh, I see. So you're saying the punch in the face is the love at first sight.
Correct. I think it's more of a love at first punch than a sight.
She threatened me with a Sumerian goodbye. That one was kind of cool. That's when they attempt to chop your head off. By the way,
Is that like a common thread, like your type? You want a woman that can kill you or at minimum castrate you?
the attempt is quite good. Yes.
What about this previous love? Was she similar? Did she fall in line with your?
She was a childhood friend of mine that I fell in love with before she passed away.
Oh, now it just got sad.
It is fine. She hopefully sits in Valhalla. She died in combat.
She died in combat. Was her village getting attacked? Were you raiding someone? Something like that?
We were raiding. Yes, and unfortunately, she was killed. It was one of the driving factors in me deciding to accept the challenge for these tattoos.
So you were there with her then on the raid?
I was a part of the raiding party. Yes.
Yes, but were you? I guess. Was it something that you heard about afterwards, or were you unfortunate enough to be there in the moment?
I was there in the moment.
Oh,
Yes.
gee.
We ended up having to retreat. They had more reinforcements at the time than we thought. So,
And that's why you signed up for your current mission?
it was basically it's more along the lines of a test. Basically, every so often a shaman decides he reads the bones and he knows of an oncoming danger.
Correct.
And then they hold a festival of trials that you must pass, basically.
So Otheon and Locke come through the door.
The trials are of endurance, of combat, and of spirit. If you pass all three, you then may attempt, if you are selected, you may then go begin your journey.
And so you signed up because you were forlorn?
Less of forlorn. Didn't have much time to my village, truthfully, at the time.
Was he bragging about killing dragons again?
Hold, Ulthion. Hold your tongue.
Speaking of the first woman I love's death.
I hop down and I walk over to Godric and I give his big arm a hug. Oh, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Oh, you're a much more sensitive creature than I knew.
I look around and just tap him in the head a little awkwardly.
It was a long time ago. It is fine. I had learned it hurt at first, but knowing that she died in combat brings me solace that I may see her again if I die in combat.
Oh, it's so beautiful. My heart weeps for you, Godric. Oh, this is not breakfast conversation. Oh, stay in character. Stay in character. As I go back to my seat.
You see Cadric just kind of he actually takes an ale and kind of dumps it on his arm to kind of clear up the snot.
I'll say to Locke in Gnomish, is everything alright?
I respond in common so everyone can hear. Yes, I do believe that particular spell failed, but if they're scrying on me and it succeeds, I don't believe I would feel it. So who knows what? Not even sure who it could be.
Then is it possible they may have succeeded before now?
Well, it's likely if they're bothering to do it at all.
So that means someone is looking.
And since they failed, they will most likely try again.
Looking and listening.
And may know of our goals already. I haven't exactly been silent about it. None of us have.
Well, I am capable of this magic as well, and I know that my beloved Eothwyn has been able to thwart it many times as we played our games of hide and seek as children. So,
would she know a way, or would you know a way to stop it?
well, she's a wizard.
I know of ways. I know ways. I don't have the means, and I don't. Trin, I wasn't able to speak to you. We don't share language other than common. Do you have ways to detect invisible things?
To detect invisible things? Not in particular. I have ways to make things invisible, make things appear invisible, but to show I can do them if they're there.
We might want to go back to the what's her face and see if she has any methods.
In order to scry, you need
You have to be able to
a
see
modicum
invisibility.
of familiarity with the person. I could scry anyone, but the chances of us succeeding if I did not know them or have a personal effect of theirs.
It's likely someone we've come across, but it could be as simple as they've seen me and I'm unique among our group in certain ways. Makes a scry even easier.
Now, look, I don't want to insult your capabilities in any way, but I have to ask, do you think this might be tied to some of those dreams, for lack of a better, visions that you've had recently? Maybe a sense of paranoia or something along those lines?
Oh. No. I don't think a Warforged mind quite works that way.
I just thought it was worth considering, I suppose.
No, I'm not worried about the dreams. I'm curious about them.
So this is, like, distinct?
It is likely someone we've crossed, or it could be someone worried about us, though that seems less likely.
Yeah, but to answer your question, if they were here in person, that's one thing, but scrying from or divining from a distance, I don't have much that can help with that.
I just have to be able to see the focus, the eye, whatever you want to call it.
If you could see it, is there any way to know who's on the other end?
None. But I could dispel
There
it.
is one way. I am capable of scrying the person who attempted to scry you. Again, I don't have much to go off of, but upon completion of the spell, simply uttering the person who tried to scry Locke last could actually get me a result. The problem is that I don't have the material components necessary to complete that spell.
What do you mean?
a very expensive mirror or a pool of holy water from a cistern or a church of some sort?
Well, there is a large church of Parathor in this little town.
I don't think my gods have any sway in that temple, unfortunately.
Holy water is holy water, isn't it?
Not exactly.
It also may be difficult to find such a fancy mirror in such a small
And how
town.
expensive a mirror?
100 platinum, maybe more. The specific designs require inlaid silver and platinum in the actual glass itself. That's the expensivity.
Well, when we do have a chance, it may be worth it for us to purchase such a mirror. Since we would also like to be able to scry on Hargraves when we can.
Fair. We'll keep that in mind then, or perhaps we'll find an elven temple on the way. We should be going soon, correct?
Relatively. I was planning on seeing what this gentleman wanted me about.
Well, if it's really important, they are fully capable of meeting us before we leave. Fine.
At this moment, I was just going to wait a little bit around Tilly's, see if any of them came in.
Shall we stay here one more night and get an early start in the morning to Midheim?
Could be a good idea.
Midheim is a fair ways away. I'd prefer if we left as soon as possible. The breadth of the Bravashian Empire is thousands of miles, and we're on the western edge. Midheim's on the eastern.
No matter what, it's going to be a journey.
That being said, much like other small races go, what am I? Oh yeah, dwarven feet. Or legs are small. So a journey of this magnitude might require something with 4 legs, if you catch my drift.
Maybe see if there's any caravans in the town that would go that direction.
Hiring out to protect a caravan on the way to Bravadus would be a fantastic idea. Well done, Godric. Very uncharacteristic.
Well, backhanded comments aside, it is a good idea.
If we can make our way to a larger city that's nearby first, we may be able to do just that.
These raiders,
I have no idea.
I don't know, is it worth our time?
If we need platinum, maybe.
I can't think of...
What kind of work could they have in this little town worth that kind of
We
money?
both know not to judge people who offer us services.
We're also trying to minimize our exposure now that I'm being watched.
And they're raiders. We're not.
I don't know what you're saying. I am definitely a raider. I'm Cimmerian. That is life.
Well, I tend to gauge titles based on action, so lately you're more of a drunk and a charger.
And you're more of an ass, but I don't go saying it out loud.
Oh, well, perhaps you should. It's quite freeing.
Well, I think the caravan idea is good, and we should start heading east.
Well, then perhaps visit a merchant's guild if they have one?
Yes, if they have one. That being said,
But any caravan moving through might not be here, or it might be a few days before we go, so it might be here a little while. If this work is worth it, and we have the time that we have to wait anyway, might be worth looking into.
Perhaps. We could always hire horses as well.
If
Yes,
we decide to just
If
go.
we find horses here, we could go to a larger city that may have caravans leaving more frequently.
That is true.
that sounds
Also a
like
good idea.
a better plan.
What did happen with the blacksmith? They gave you the hammer?
And
We may
quite
want
a
to
nice
talk-
sword.
We may want to talk upstairs.
Well, if we're
Well,
being
upstairs,
scribed.
upstairs, downstairs. If I'm being listened to,
That's true.
it won't really matter. I need to find. Well, I guess it's a good time to speak about it. That book and the scroll. You had, we'd talked about it at the statues as well. I'd like to start teaching you how to access magic in a different way outside of your natural talents. Maybe pluck at something that isn't corrupted.
I would like that very much.
It'll take time, but I think we should start. And that's the makings of a fine spellbook.
If you don't mind, I'd like to sit in on that. My wife had asked that if I found any of the mortals capable of casting magics in the way the wizards do, that I should study it, because she doesn't quite understand how someone so young could master alchemical components and spells that could take years to learn.
Oh, compared to elven learning, you mean? I think they're just more thorough. They probably
like to
fail. They probably fail less.
In-
If I had flesh to singe, I'm sure I would have.
In my 500 years, I have failed quite often.
At
least once every century or so.
I would say less elven learners probably explode.
They explode.
Well, less of them. Strangely, my magic is more akin to hers. I seem to just recall it. I've only been conscious for 10 years. But I practice it in the same way as other wizards I've come across. So, interesting.
I have it easy. I just believe it'll happen, and it does.
That is easy.
Yeah, fair enough.
But what happens when you ask for it and it doesn't come?
Hasn't happened yet.
Just keep it that way. Anyhow, the point is, formulas, learning to write, creating the spellbook, we'll start there. That's basic. You can do that.
So the door opens to the tavern, and you see an individual come in. More or less dressed in the same attire as the individuals that you already met on the street, the two of you. He's got like a wide-brimmed cowboy hat, wears a poncho, and it looks like a 5 o'clock shave with multiple scars on the face. But a fairly like kind of stoic demeanor, and not necessarily stocky, but fairly fit physique. He's carrying this interesting, very large-looking like handgun, large caliber for sure. Like you've seen stuff similar like before, Trin, like out where you're from.
Sound come in.
All right.
Sorry.
You're gonna get banished.
So
Take away the internet privileges.
I will totally cast the banish spell. I've learned all kinds of things that this goblin is averse to.
Good food.
Walking.
Exercise. Water in his hair.
but
Sad stories.
it's interesting because he comes in the door and kind of walks over to the bar and grabs one of the chairs and starts pulling it over towards you all, towards your table. Kind of just interjects himself into this, but nobody else comes into the building with him. No other individuals that you can see. You don't hear anybody outside or nearby. You don't sense anything aside from magic and a fairly overwhelming presence in the room with you. You're not sure if it's coming from this individual, but there's something very daunting about how nonchalant he has been since he entered the room.
Keep looking back at him and then out the door.
I'll look at him, and I'm assuming that you are Giles. Was it? I was told that you were apparently looking for me.
So, kind of just sits and just pulls right up, spins the chair around and sits with it facing, sitting on it the wrong way. So, Locke, Katerina, Godric, it's so wonderful to see you all again. I didn't expect to run into you in this middle of nowhere town. And I know it's been a while and you've been some places, and you don't recognize me.
Not a bit.
But I know that you picked up on my spell attempt. Some other magic was working against me, and I'm not sure why it failed. There's something about Warforged that seemed to be extremely resistant to magic. And then you turn, and there's basically, for a moment, you catch a glimpse of a very strange-looking iris that seems to match those of a dragon.
Is dragon.
Now. You all should relax. We wouldn't want anything absolutely terrible to happen to this small town and everybody who lives in it if we can't hold still here at the table, do we?
Yes, we'd be absolutely blubbering in tears.
You know who I am, don't you? And if you don't, wouldn't surprise me, but I sure wish that your friend Bravum could have joined us here today. But unfortunately, that meddling silver dragon met her end outside of Rivergate at my talons. And we're gonna go break.
You son of mother. You.
Is Riven.
This fucking. So,
Is it your
I'm
fault?
sorry in advance about Greencrest.
Oh no! Oh no!
You ran that one shot. You're the reason we know what happened.
So we're gonna take a quick little 15-minute intermission.
Oh,
and we're gonna
is
be right back.
Riven.
Oh!
Is ancient green dragon.
Oh!
That's who this is.
Oh,
They all died the
totally
same.
knows who you are.
That's cool.
All right, get your snacks.
Is strong enough to cast a scry.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's
definitely.
ancient. It probably has
But
more
not
than
strong
that.
enough to make it work.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Get your
Make
snacks.
sure to
get your
drop that
drinks.
line. Sure, that'll go real
Did everybody
well.
get the lucky
Katarina
number
speak
yet?
very
No,
differently.
no one's got 7 yet.
Okay.
All right.
Closest person so far was
Get wrecked,
with
Seth.
6.
You might want to roll it because they might need it. Just saying.
Oh my god, let's do it, Dragon. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna be right back.
I'm
So,
check-
Mr. John, why don't you take us to break real quick, man?
Let's
We're gonna be right back.
Let's open the lobby. Let's
So you sit here
Yeah.
face to face with this terrifying dragon, of which some of you have met before and others have not. I need to pull that up. That makes sense.
What was that thing Andrew sent me? Something about
And
a super sick move, like a ready to strike move.
Oh boy.
ready a strike.
Oh boy.
Oh, there we go. Gotta pull up those ancient green dragon stats.
You don't.
Oh, ancient,
Gotta.
that's not so bad. He's like old; he can barely move, right?
Yeah, that's what that is.
That's exactly how dragons work.
They get
Yeah.
weaker as they get older.
So,
That's just a human condition.
with the reveal that you come to the conclusion, or with the, that you figure out what it is, I need everybody in the room to make a DC 19 Wisdom saving throw.
Hang on. Before everyone does that, I think. Let me read this real quick before we do it.
I need everybody to make a DC 19 Wisdom saving throw.
I think he knows what you can do,
Yeah.
and he's asking to do this.
I can't do it. It doesn't take effect the way I want it to.
Ooh, I saw it lock roll.
21.
Oh
Nice.
my god, this damn thing that doesn't sponsor us. No wonder it's garbage.
What'd you roll?
2! I'm so scared.
Use things. Give me a
7.
second.
Oh boy. If it's just me.
25.
Okay, hang on.
He is desperately looking up his character sheet stuff to see if there's any way out of this.
I need to check something.
He rolled a natural one.
did.
Advantage against dragon fear? Is that what you're looking for? You don't got it.
I'm guessing his wisdom saving throw
Yeah,
is
that
gonna
landed
be
on a 1 and we both
18,
froze.
Yeah,
so-
plus 18.
Safe to say he failed.
He has some stuff on his character sheet because of his runes, so he's double checking some
Yep,
stuff.
okay, I have to double check first the character, then the runes.
But I'm 100% sure that unless he
I
was
think you
raging, he
boned.
doesn't get to re-roll that
I
saving
think
throw.
you boned.
Yep.
Yeah, it's only raging. Damn.
Oh no.
I can technically use Zealot and reroll a failed saving. It's a saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that?
Fuck it.
DC what?
You see what?
I think it was it 19?
It's a DC 19 Wisdom saving throw.
Ignore whatever you might have
Fuck
seen
it,
on
I'm
the
gonna,
thing.
yeah, I'm gonna use, nope, never mind, I failed. It's a rage. It's once per rage.
I know. I was waiting for you. That's why I
Just
said-
waiting to put you in your place. Stuffed.
I wouldn't have been the case if I was like, I looked and double checked the zealot before I had made the roll. I have the sheet up right now. So,
That's funny.
Oh, geez.
Well, high five,
Are you
Locke.
saying you were prepared for this?
yeah. No, not even a little bit, dude.
As he pulls out a green dragon miniature.
Uh-oh.
I'll fuck it.
Let's
go. Yeah, so I, I roll that. So I get a 2. Wisdom saving throw of 2.
Wisdom saving throw of ultimate 2. So,
I'm just as wise as God, right?
Yeah, no, there it was.
So with the reveal, and there's like a flash of green kind of in the eyes as the iris is changed from human to draconic, the room
Boy.
seems to become exceptionally claustrophobic, and like the shadows kind of grow out and reach outwards, and there is a wave of total, complete fear that radiates off of Riven as Godric, Katarina, and Tren are frightened.
So let me get this straight. You walk in here, and who are you exactly?
This
I'm Riven. I'm simply Riven.
is the green dragon Riven.
So you're a dragon in human form, and that's the hat you decided to wear.
Yes. I mean, it's the hat that the individual whom I'm impersonating wears. It wouldn't be a very successful impersonation if I didn't.
Yeah, you know, the eyes give it away too.
I could change them if I need to.
You should.
I don't think so.
I don't think you're welcome here, Riven. So
Oh, I know
speak
for a fact I'm
whatever
not
piece you
welcome
have,
here.
and then leave.
My piece is I just want to check on the individuals who I've met before. How have you all been since our encounter in Rivergate? That
Like-
wench elf, Kavira, most definitely interfered in my plans.
I would like to ready to attack.
Ready to strike?
Ready to strike.
Okay.
I would like to.
Now, Godric. That's not polite. Or did you forget what I said when I first sat down? And there's kind of like a coy smile that crosses the face, and just kind of moves his chair. Actually, just picks up and slides a little bit closer to you on purpose.
I still pull Gwendolyn out and place her basically right in front of me. I just hold the bottom of the sheet with one hand, have it pointing up like it's resting in front of me if I need to quickly grab it.
You're gonna make a mess of the town.
Gonna make a mess of
That-
us.
As he points and raises his hand, and you actually see it kind of shift for a moment, see through the polymorph, like this
I can't
clawed
take these off,
finger.
man, I can't see well.
And he's looking and points. That little thing right there won't save you or anybody. That would be barely a scratch upon my scales, even with your mightiest blow.
With enough scratches, I could work my way inside.
You wouldn't be the first, and you wouldn't be the last to try.
Shut up, Justin.
Do you know how many adventurers and so-called warriors over the years that I have crushed beneath my claws, chewed in my maw, and killed with my mighty breath weapon? Do you know how old I am in the forces of which you've upset? I have now decided to take a personal interest in your suffering and the suffering of the people that you hold dear to you.
It seems only fair we've done the same. If you have family or friends, I suggest you warn them we're coming.
Family or friends? Don't understand dragons at all, do you?
Why us?
You interfered in my plans. And I take orders from a higher power as well. If you think that we are not aware, or that Andrakar is not aware of the orbs, which the only reason we're having this pleasant conversation is because I can tell that they're not on your persons, and I don't know where you've left them.
and neither does the rest of the Cult of Domination. But we will find them, and we will level whatever hovel you have hidden them in.
Why don't you go outside of this town and we'll tell you after I'm done chopping your fucking head off?
No, I don't think so. Now's not the right time. I don't think you've proven that any of you are worthy to even be in my presence, let alone battle me.
Just worthy enough to thwart his plans on accident.
On accident. The wizard had more to do with that than you did. But you sure threw a wrench in one piece of it. But either way, we completed most of our goals and our bargains, not all of them, but the chains have been undone. And it's only a matter of time before we bring her out of Avernus and back onto the material plane.
You're a fool. You come here speaking of power, and yet you give up the plans, you give up details we didn't have that now we do. And you get nothing from us in return. You already knew we didn't have the orbs.
Don't need anything from you at the moment.
Well, then you're wasting our time and yours. Are we done here?
The metallic dragons already are aware of the plans anyways. I assume based on your reaction that they didn't clue you into everything they knew either. Did they? Or they would have told you that they know that we are working on releasing her and that she in fact isn't actually on the plane as we speak.
We hadn't got around to it.
See how this is news. If she was here, there would be far more devastation than there is now.
Yes, so you don't have all the information then. So realistically, I gave you nothing of importance.
So what?
Maybe a headache.
Just here to intimidate us for your own?
My own enjoyment? Absolutely. I enjoy this. Basking in this fear coming off of the table, especially off of the big one, who's working very hard to hide it. Frustratingly so. The other two doesn't surprise me.
You're
The
gonna
little
have...
one, though. I smell you. You're not a dwarf.
Yeah, but totally adorable. You're bringing about a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're gonna get you.
A lot of people have died saying that very same thing to me.
It only takes one. You just wait and see.
And the human girl. Interesting. The magic that you carry. Dangerous. I assume that you don't understand that you've already started to corrupt and change. Your views becoming slightly askewed, different views of the world. I'm familiar with your magic. Your magic ran rampant. Hecate's touch devastated whole lands during the Arcana Wars. That's why necromancy is mostly illegal in many lands, because of people like you who could not control their powers. If you think I'm dangerous or a problem, just wait and see what she does. It's only in her nature at this point.
Hopefully you'll see it up close someday.
I could only hope. It's been a long time since I've eaten a powerful wizard or magic user. And since I assume the Warforged doesn't taste at all, then I'll have to settle for you.
You say I know nothing of dragons because I mentioned family or friends you might have had, but you failed to realize that maybe you don't know much about them either. Bravum had friends and family.
Well,
And they'll come
Bravum's
for
dead. Bravum is dead.
They'll come for you.
You can threaten all you want, but you don't have the power to follow through with that. And the other metallic dragons are afraid of us.
Do you think Alatrari is afraid of you?
I'm arbitrary, has no want for the involvements in the world of the dragons and Bahamut and Tiamat.
And yet I am here.
Your people are too worried about fighting your traitor cousins across the sea.
True enough. Traitor cousins that have no love for the dragons either.
Ah, but they do. See? Don't let the elf fool you. Given his age and supposed wisdom, he knows nothing of what the Drukar are doing or what alliances they make.
You're just scared and you're trying to shake us up and cause us to question ourselves just because you know we're a threat.
Maybe. Maybe in the future you will become a friend. One worth me giving my personal attention to.
So, Locke is going to stand and kind of push his chair back. Well, if you're not going to kill us, and just came here to bask in our fear, still, when's the other shoe drop? Who is here to kill us?
Nobody.
Then I don't
Haven't
see
allowed
any
it.
reason to continue this conversation. Up to the room, we have a lot of packing to do.
So the voice gets real deep and there's a throaty growl. You will sit here and you will listen to me. Because there are thousands of people in this town who I will mutilate and murder at my own will if you do not humor me. So I hope that's a good enough of a reason to humor me in this conversation, Elf.
Well, then say what you have to say.
Just know that from this point forward, we will be observing you where we can and when we can. And now that you're aware that someone, myself, is capable of scrying on any one of you at any time, just keep that in mind as you go upon your business. Eventually, one of you will slip up and give away the location of the dragon orbs. And then it'll be you who's responsible for the destruction that comes afterwards. So do your best and make the game fun and enjoyable for me. We'll be seeing you again very soon.
I will enjoy knowing that you're more scared of us than we are of you, since you have no idea where the dragon arms are.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. It has been far too long since the mortals of this land remembered what it was like for Takesis to rule over it, as it will again.
It will not happen.
It will happen.
I will enjoy killing you as much as I will enjoy killing Andrakar.
Tell that to the bit of urine that ran down your leg when you realized I was sitting across from you at the table. Either way, I grow tired of this conversation now. I will leave you to your adventures and your little quests and allow you to go about your days. And just remember this, that every day that you do, it's because I allowed you to leave here alive. You live by my graces, not by your choices, and not by your power or strength to defend yourselves. I have allowed you to live. And he kind of stands up, kind of just picks up the chair very, very politely, just takes it, walks over to the bar, puts it down, makes sure it's straight and almost right back in position where he originally grabbed it from. Grabs the hat off the counter, puts it back on. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be seeing you. Starts walking out the door.
Well, that was jarring.
And unpleasant.
I would like to rage, grab the table, and throw it against the wall. The whole table.
Okay.
I jump out of the way.
Roaring very loudly as I do so.
I calmly stand there, used to this sort of display.
Fair.
I probably would have been sitting next to Godric, so
See,
everyone
everyone
just
just-
direction, and I'm still just sitting.
The second before Godric rages, Locke just picks up.
he sees the standing and goes,
I know what's happening next.
there's the table.
He's like, oh, this is coming.
Oh, man.
So, after a few moments, the footsteps fade. The shadows recede. The feelings of claustrophobia closing in and imminent death kind of pass. You know, as Riven moves away from the location.
So we don't speak a word of anything, of any of this. If they're watching, we'll figure out a different way to communicate. There are only so many ways.
Would the one thing work? The one where I have to talk less.
Theoretically. Let me do some more research first.
They may have ways to
idea.
perceive it, but it would be difficult even for a dragon. It's an obscure sort of magic.
We just must be very careful to never speak the location of the dragon horse.
It would be best if we just did not talk about them at all.
Until we had better
Trent.
countermeasures, yes.
I speak to you in private later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go pack my things and
Don't let him shake you, everyone. It's just psychological warfare. He's just trying to get in your heads and mess with you and make you question yourselves.
it sounded to me like desperation.
I'm not
I
shaking.
don't imagine failing the likes of Takesis or Andrakar would sit well.
He wouldn't have even shown up if we weren't a threat to him.
It's true, he could have killed us, but he needs us.
I'm going to get up, or
We'll do our
I'm
best to
standing.
disappoint.
Yeah, you're already standing and throwing a fit. You're just like raging in there
Get my
screaming.
elbows off the
I
table.
grabbed-
It
yeah.
doesn't exist anymore.
I grabbed the other fucking
just sitting
chair,
there
break
still.
it.
Well, I
Talk
did
over
stand and back up.
After breaking the chair, I kind of slowly calm down and walk over to where the bar is, or any waitress and anyone who works at this establishment. Nearest one, I walk towards rather aggressively.
Okay.
You!
She turns like hiding. Like everybody's basically all the staff or anybody that's in there, all the people like nearby who are kind of like
They
listening.
got hit by that dragon fear
Just-
too.
They're just
Yeah.
they didn't
probably
under. You can tell that nobody understands really what happened, but everybody can feel the effects of like the individual leaving the room, and everybody is pretty much just kind of stunned and in this like catatonic kind of place. So when you yell and like you go over there, you know, like knocks them out of it, and everybody's just kind of like looking around like, what was that? And the chatter starts to pick up, and everybody's kind of like arguing amongst themselves. But this young lady basically, she's like, what is it do you want?
To pay for the damn table.
You should go, please. You should all go. Take him with you, please. You should deal with Tilly. I pray for you. If you wish to pay, you can handle her. I would like you to leave after what you just did. Thank you.
God, let's get our stuff. Don't
So-
give them the satisfaction.
Before you can respond, you start to hear alarm bells ringing, and then people screaming and yelling outside.
I
In the
walk.
streets.
I run outside.
Flew away all conspicuous.
Oh, he
Mhm.
probably fucking made a
Yeah,
scene. That
fucking
son of a
show
bitch.
off.
Yeah, I run outside.
I run to my room and grab my bag.
I'll run
He's-
outside. I don't
I ran to
push
give my
stuff.
bag. That's
Yeah,
really important.
I-
You're the guy who's like the building's on fire. And he's like, hold on, let me grab my Xbox.
But he ran and grabbed all the stuff in the throne room battle too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
Totally
He's the
fair.
stuff guy.
I don't want to lose my instrument.
Mhm. No, I got you.
I follow Godric outside calmly.
Yeah.
And I look to where the fucking commotion was going about.
Yeah,
My heart's
so,
in the right spot.
are you just grabbing your stuff, or are you gonna start like grabbing like everybody's stuff and kind of like trying to get it together?
Once I have my stuff like over my shoulder, I'll start arranging everyone else's stuff.
Between my secret chest and the bag of holding, I have everything I own on me, pretty much at all times.
Yeah.
If something
I
really
carry
bad
all my
happens,
stuff.
like the building gets set on fire,
Bedroll.
Burrup will grab my shit.
Oh yeah,
I'm-
he's still up there.
I'm good. I have everything I need. It's on the person.
So
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I just figured everyone wasn't like walking around with like bedroll tents and all that.
All my
No.
stuff is in a giant chest.
yeah, we keep ours in a chest.
All right, well then I just grab my stuff. Fuck everybody else. Where's it?
We also have the bag.
And
Of
I
holding.
noticed that the rooms are empty, and I'm the only one that uses it apparently.
We have a bag of holding now too. We can keep mundane shit in there all day long.
Yeah. So
It's so while we're walking out, Godric runs out. I look over to Ulthion. You said your wife was a wizard. Did she teach you how to create scrolls? Inscribe the spells you're given?
I have a modicum of that knowledge myself, but I don't see how it'd be helpful for you.
Can you divine the ability to see invisibility? Do you have that? Or does your god grant you that?
He grants us the faith to notice when things are askew, but not quite the ability to see through it. I do know that she has a non-detection ability. If she can do it, perhaps you can be taught.
Maybe, but I have to dispel a scry, I must be able to see. I tap my one remaining good eye. I must be able to see the focus, the eye.
There is another wizard in this town.
That is true.
Let's speak to Thane before we leave.
At the very least, that one spell could make a very large difference in how we proceed. I'm going to head to Thane's, and that's when I start walking calmly outside.
So as you basically hit the streets out in front of the building, people are like panicked. You see a lot of people have like kind of fallen to the ground. People are rushing to like grab their kids and like hide and take cover. As you notice, a small section of the town, like the corner furthest from you, south from here, seems to have caught a blaze.
That feeling.
And rising from out of the top of it, you basically make out the massive head and figure of Riven as he unfurls his large wings and stands and beats them upwards and comes up into the air slowly, kind of looking down and scanning the town and watching the people panic and flee from underneath him, and then just continues to bat his wings as he moves upward and then starts flying away from the town.
I'm going to run towards the nearest well, cast Control Water to redirect the flow of the water in the well, pull it up out of the well, and throw it at the burning buildings.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Ulthion over, and I'm gonna ask her. I'm just gonna immediately say, "Is there anyone inside? Does anyone need to be pulled out of the fire?"
Who are you grabbing?
I walked with Ulthion towards the well, and then went towards the burning buildings, and spoke that out loud to anyone who was nearby.
Almost everybody that you approach seems far too self-consumed with escaping and evading the possible dragon attack to give you coherent directions, as everybody panically points and just moves away and tries to get away from you.
Cover your face, just go and find out yourself.
I don't need to cover my face as I just run into the fire then.
Hope you can breathe smoke.
I can't.
Neat.
It's like spicy air. It's really good.
I guess it's spiced air. That's why they use it in cooking.
Cherry wood.
Anyhow, yeah.
I run in, and once I run into the building that's on fire, I would like to do a perception check to see if I can hear any screaming or yelling or calling for help in the building.
Okay. So, as you hit the building and you pop it open, Ulthion, you notice this first when you start putting the fire on and it starts putting it out. There's kind of like a strange adverse reaction to some of the efforts, and the fire is especially resistant for some reason to putting it out. As you hit, you expect to feel nothing, given your fire giant heritage running through your veins, but there's a strange, very powerful odor that hits your nostrils and begins to kind of burn into your lungs, and you feel it starting to swell in your throat. And this smoke isn't black, and the flames, which at first you couldn't see from as far away as you were, have almost a greenish or yellowish tint to them as they're catching fire and latching on to these structures and tearing them down. And the fumes are like low and kind of rolling in yellowish from the very bottom very heavily down to the ground and settling. So I need you to make a DC 22 Constitution saving throw.
Whee!
That's really high.
Really high.
22 con save.
Yeah.
Yep.
19. I
19.
don't think I have any bonuses at the moment. Not that I'm aware of.
Not a bad roll, then.
Not a bad
It's
roll.
close.
Technically, I have this too, actually.
So, as you run in, and this hits you, you realize that you'd made a small miscalculation, assuming that this fire, not knowing any better and having never experienced this kind of attack before, you realize that this isn't normal fire. This is different. The heat doesn't bother you at all, but this smoke is clogging your lungs and attaching itself to your skin. You can feel this strange burning sensation on your body that just doesn't quite match fire. But you've lucked out because you didn't take a direct hit from the dragon's breath weapon, just the after effects of it settling as the poisonous air starts to fill in your lungs and it chemically burn your body. So you take half.
Look. It's
Take
poison.
half of 22d6.
Can you control the wind?
22d6! Holy cow!
All right, now, Andy, before you roll that,
Mhm.
I raged at the bar.
Yes, you're still raging.
Oh, thank fucking Lord, heavenly Jesus.
22d6
It fucking,
poison!
that matters so much more than it should.
So you
Is-
take half
so
of
you-
71.
Oh, holy
Well,
cow!
no, so I could have re-rolled, but I'm not going to re-roll because I just took it. But I had temporary hit points. So you half of 71?
35.
35.
Carry the one.
What are you doing? Just put 35 and hit damage.
Don't know why I decided to math that out.
Yeah, I was
but
sitting here
that's what
watching
happened.
you.
Oh,
He almost just killed himself on the character sheet.
plus 11. That's why I did the math,
Oh, okay.
because it hit my temporary hit points. Coughing lightly, feeling whatever the fuck this is, just kind of like eating away at my body. I immediately reach down and rip out a handkerchief, pull out my water, douse it in water, and kind of tie it around my face as best I can to kind of make it a little easier. And I'm still going to listen to see if I can hear anyone screaming or asking for help.
So, okay, what do you want?
To answer Ulthion's question, any spell I have would cause more harm than good.
Katarina, what are you doing? As this kind of chaos unfolds around the streets, you see that Godric just straight runs and Ulthion run towards the catastrophe, looking to assist.
I'll see if I can see anyone that is injured but not in a building that I can help try to get away.
Okay.
And Riven, he's sticking around or flew off?
Left.
Which direction?
South. In a southward direction through, basically following the veil between
Right.
the two ranges. What are you doing, Trent?
I come back out to discover the scene before me after I grab my stuff.
Actually, I would like to yell something out now that I'm in here.
Hold on. What are you doing, Trent?
I run over and I observe, looking for an opportunity to assist if anyone's doing anything like physical or something.
Okay.
But I'm kind of I ready my action to take action.
So a few people have kind of were pushed over or not necessarily trampled, but were kind of minorly injured. And some of the town militia have kind of arrived and are trying to go and fight the fires. Basically having very little effect on most of the flames, which after just a few minutes of them burning are already kind of starting to kind of settle and kind of dissipate a little bit. But the noxious gas that's been kind of left in the end is just slowly but surely kind of pouring out of the windows and rolling kind of down the street, spreading, and people are tripping and trying to get away from it as it's just heavy and hanging like a fog cloud just kind of rolling slowly. And people are coming out, like burning and coughing. And as that happens, you and Katerina are trying to help them like get out of the way to the best of your ability. So Godric, when you entered the building after gathering like your composure and taking like burning, in the room, there looks like there's like 4 bodies in the room. They look dead. There's like a couple of small children, a woman, and a man who's sitting in a chair. You can see blood has like come out of their eyes and out of their ears. They have their skin has sort of yellowed, and they look like they died asphyxiating on the poisonous gas.
Think of the hurt you just went through.
How
Some
far
villagers
away am I from
toast.
them? Like from me to them?
3 feet.
I'm gonna start grabbing bodies and start throwing them out of the front door.
Oh, okay.
This is
As I yell out, sorry, there's nothing.
Don't breathe the fumes.
Mm-hmm.
They're poisonous.
Okay. What are you doing, Altheon? So the water is having some sort of effect, it seems, now that enough of it is being doused onto some of the flames.
right.
But the flames themselves seem to be receding in a fashion that makes it more or less look like the efforts are null to
Right.
minorly effective at this point.
But the poison's still like drastically threatening the village.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still hanging and just kind of sitting and rolling in this very like heavy fog-like fashion, just like a couple feet at a time. It's just drifting in this kind of southeast-born-ish direction, threatening to kind of shift and consume a whole other section of the town.
Do I feel like I could run and get ahead of it?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to run to get ahead of it by maybe 20, 30 yards or so.
Okay.
I'm going to drop to my knees, draw the sigil of Alatrari into the ground, and go for divine intervention.
Okay. Make your roll.
Just got to save this town, guys. Got my 2. Okay. It's a 10% chance.
Get that 00.
Oh my god! I got a 9.
Sure it's not. Are you sure it's not
Yes!
90?
That is definitely
Just double checking.
That's a 9. That's a fucking 9.
Yes!
Wow.
First time it worked?
Yes!
Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Sadly, I took that away
The
for
rest,
lunch.
the rest of this campaign is fucked.
That's it.
Oh my god.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Holy shit.
Oh,
Thank God! Save the town! Slay the dragon!
I told you to get that 00 and you fucking did, brother.
I did. Holy crap.
Oh my god. So what does divine So for the people at home while Andy preps,
Read
what is divine intervention
I
for the
will
people at home
absolutely
who aren't
pull
super
it up.
familiar with D&D? Why is there such a
All
big
right.
outcry and excitement from us at this damn table?
As an action, request your deity's aid and roll percentile dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your cleric level, which is 10, your deity intervenes. If successful, you can't use this feature again for 7 days. Otherwise, you can use it again after a long rest.
So yeah, he rolled basically a 1 to 100 and got a 9.
yeah.
I literally just begged Alatrari to save this town.
So yeah,
Maybe
at
bring
10th
some-
level,
maybe
there's
bring
a
some
10%
people back to life,
chance of that working.
Or we just like go poof, gone.
So-
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
So
apparently
as
only
you-
one your god
as
once a
you
week.
drop to the ground and draw the divine circles as the gas is closing in on you, moment after moment after moment seems to pass as it's creeping in and closing in on your space. And after another moment, it starts to begin to engulf you, and you can feel it like the burning sensation on your skins, these chemical burns, and the poison entering your lungs. But then there's a rolling of clouds suddenly from across the Gray Spire Mountains. And there is thunder and lightning and a downpour of rain as the storm rolls across the town. And a powerful sweeping wind kind of comes in following this storm and picking up the poisonous gas and lifting it out of the town and moving it away. As you see it dissipate slowly, parting until the gas is gone.
What happened?
And the town, which was panicking, quiets. The bells stop. Everybody looks to the sky to see this roiling, not necessarily violent storm cloud, but almost peaceful as the rain pours down onto the streets, puts out what's left of the fires, begins to heal people's minor wounds, and then they part and dissipate, and the rain ceases, and the town is basically just left speechless. Nobody says anything, and everyone just kind of sits and stares up at the sky.
How did you do that?
I told you my power was based on belief.
What the hell happened? Why did they...
Godric pulls out one more body, adding it to the pile, his skin like almost peeling. You see blotches of discolored skin, yellow patches. It almost looks like his skin's been eaten away and torn and destroyed as he's just kind of...
What happened?
We're okay for now.
That was amazing.
Was that you?
It was Alatrari.
Did you ask your gods?
So Luck goes over to you and pulls you from under the awning out into the rain. And I start rubbing off some of the tarnish on my hands. Most of my body is covered, but my hands are exposed. It's shiny like new.
That was not comfortable.
That was pretty incredible.
To be honest, I don't know what to say. I am
Thank you. What is your god's name?
Alatrari.
Alatrari.
Actually, I think you'd like him. God of vengeance and justice.
The fact that he intervened already means enough. I have a little bit more respect for him.
Good.
Now.
I'm amazed as well.
So the doorway opens nearby out of the ethereal, and Thane walks through into the street. What happened? What's happening? What's going on?
There was a fucking dragon!
There was a dragon here.
A green one!
Godric, perhaps you could let
There was
me
a dragon
speak.
here.
I'm feeling a little dizzy.
And he kind of looks around at his surroundings, looks at everything, and is it still here? Is it still a threat?
Flew south.
South.
Yes.
What was it doing here? Did it say anything? Did it come here for any reason, or did it just attack the town and fly away?
It came for us.
For you. But what did it say?
Many things.
It threatened us, and then followed through on its threat.
It came to sow seeds of doubt. It knows we're a threat.
For sure, it understands the position that it's in. Of course it does. It knows that we have, or at least the forces of good have the dragon orbs. It knows.
How do you know that? I don't remember revealing that
I
to
told you, I may be excommunicated, but I still have friends and people in high places. I know other wizards and people. You are not the only ones who know Ilyana, who know... I have friends in high places as well. I wasn't always excommunicated. It's a story for another time. But most importantly, I'm interested in wondering why it seems to have rained, but yet where you stand, there's not a single drop or puddle of water. Why is that?
Alatrari works in mysterious ways? I wish I could answer it. I'm not a lectern. I asked for their help, and we're alive because of it.
And he kind of looks around, moves, comes over to where you're standing, looks at you very carefully. If Alatrari interfered, there's definitely a reason why he did. He shouldn't have done what he did.
Well, I can't imagine he'd be friends with Tiamat. And selfishly, I did put myself in danger, hoping he'd have no choice but to save the town or watch one of his followers perish. It could be more. I don't know.
You definitely seem blessed on this day.
On this
But I
day.
hope you understand he took a risk, and I know you know this. That him circumventing and interfering in mortal affairs was a big risk to his domain and to his followers. I would think carefully before calling upon his powers or putting yourself in such dire circumstances again in the future.
You're right.
Next time he might not be there.
But it has proven that we are here on divine purpose.
At the very
At least
least,
divine on your God's definitions.
At the very least, I need
helped
ways
Zeta.
to
Thank you.
obfuscate us from the dragons. And this green dragon.
Why? What did it do?
It scryed on me.
It scryed on you.
It attempted to.
It attempted to.
And
I
from the
detected
way-
the spell, and when it failed to grasp,
And from what it said, they've been watching us.
I have no means of seeing invisible creatures or the arcane eye that the scrying spell creates. I could dispel it, but I need a way to see it. Do you know that spell? Could you create a scroll? If only a scroll, then I can learn it.
I can give you the necessary arcane knowledge to cast that spell. It is in my library. I have access to it, and I can write you out the rituals necessary.
Afraid I don't have much to offer other than a thank you and a small pile of money.
No, it goes towards a greater good anyways. Like I said, I'm not your enemy, but I'm also not necessarily your ally. But it seems as though the machinations of the outside world have different plans for even such a small, out-of-the-way, remote land such as the Central Vale and Greencrest. It's unfortunate that the gods would see fit to make the townspeople suffer after what happened with the Dread Wraith LaFay, but it seems they've decided to send another group of heroes to make sure that the innocent people of the world aren't decimated or harmed once again.
This town has a...
You realize that your spell is worn off, though, right, Goblin? And you're standing here just in the open.
What? Oh no.
Good.
Uh,
Good. Let them all see you for who you really are.
This town has
The
lucky
savior of
timing.
this town. You would have done
So
anything
people have
you
started
could
to gather around the outsides and have actually, because he hasn't been being quiet, he's been talking out loud, like he's been having this conversation with you just openly, you know, and people are like starting to kind of gather around and like whisper and ask questions or whatever, and there's a running gamut of just like, what are these? Who are these strangers? Who are these people? Why are they here? You know, oh my God, that's an elf and a warforged. I've never seen one of those before, and they're like, what's that goblin doing there? You know, is what you hear on a regular basis. Like, what is he doing there? Why are they here? You know, and then you actually hear a couple of people who kind of just ignorantly are like, the goblin has to be partially responsible in some way. Like, did he bring the dragon here? It's his fault, right? And it seems at first like there might be kind of a raucous gathering, but a few, it seems, of like the town guards and people who observed what was happening around, they just shut that down right away. You know, they're just like, they don't allow that to sow into the populace whatsoever, those false rumors, that misrepresentation of your character.
the rain, it must have washed my magic away. Oh dear.
It's alright, you look better this way.
Oh, I didn't do my hair this morning because of the spell.
I'm gonna walk over to the bodies and start like kind of arranging it a little bit better and turning them up so that the faces are visible. And if there's a town guard nearby, you, if you can, identify the people who are dead and let those, if anyone's alive, let their next of kin know.
So a couple of them just kind of, okay, all right. And they like go over there and they start kind of looking at the bodies, but they seem fairly indecisive about exactly what to do. And more people start gathering around. And then that quiet and that bit of awe that seemed to have set over the crowd, suddenly reality starts to seep in, and you start to hear people crying and becoming upset, mourning the loss of their loved ones, as Riven apparently had unleashed his breath weapon on at least a good block worth of people, living in their homes, doing their daily chores and activities. Luckily, at this time of the day, a lot of people aren't actually in their homes, so maybe the amount of loss of life was limited by that. Or maybe it wasn't, and it was just a bad day. But Thane, you can come with me and stay in my manor. They shouldn't be able to scry you there. It should keep you safe from the spell being cast again anytime soon. I have wards and protections, and I can show you similar ways of doing it. It might take time and practice on your part, but I could show you how to make a magic item that should protect you particularly against scry. It might take a little bit of time, but it would be worth the effort.
Well, the dragon intimated that he might not try that scry on me again, but he's met everyone in our group now.
I think it's worth us learning it.
Oh, I'm going to learn it.
Good.
I don't know how much good it will do, just one. It is certainly do. Don't get me wrong. Thank you. Over time I can make more than one.
Time is something we do have in short supply, though. Are you capable of transportation magics?
I'm capable of a limited amount of transportation. I do have a...
Do you have a teleportation circle somewhere?
I do, but it only connects between my manors.
Don't mention where.
No, it wouldn't be scrying now. If the spell failed earlier, Riven won't be able to cast it again for at least a day. Dragons may be exceptionally powerful magic users, but their magic doesn't utilize the weave the same way that our magic does here. It's very innate. It's closer to the way that she casts magic than it is through casting a spell. They are limited.
Maybe you're a dragon.
And
I should hope not.
Though this green dragon may have been fairly powerful, it might have exerted a great deal of concentration and effort for it to fail. The question is that making the items or putting them together would more than likely take at least a couple of weeks of effort. Meanwhile, we could stay in the manor, in the town as my guests, under the protection of the magics and seals, and the world might have to march on for a while, but if you don't go through this process, then you have to be exceptionally vigilant and in tune with the weave in a way that maybe you haven't been in quite a while. And the same with you, sorceress. I'm sure that you had to have felt a hint of it as well. It might not have been as obvious to you because it wasn't cast on you directly, but I'm sure you noticed that there was a slight tug at the weave at the time the spell was cast.
I felt it.
My awakening is
I could
still
teach you the
undergoing.
spell as well.
If it... I'm willing to wait.
Maybe we don't all need this item.
I can ride forward. I am fully capable of remaining undetected personally.
I understand the want to go and find Bridget because of that you believe that she is in danger and that something may happen to her that's terrible. But if anything, your presence and what happened today proves to me that there are multiple forces at work and other players that have an interest in what is happening. I'm sure. I
can't guarantee it, but I'm sure that finding her could wait enough time to make sure that you learn the spell, that it works, that you're capable of casting it, and that we teach you how to recognize the threat. You cannot go out into the world and underestimate this dragon.
Maybe only one of us would need this item. What if the rest of us didn't know where the orbs were anymore?
Hence my reason for wanting to speak to Tren earlier.
Either way,
We have a weak link.
we have to learn the spell either way. It's going to take time.
What's this?
If you both learn, you're both going to need to learn because it'll be at the same time.
I can teach Katarina. Only one. We can do that on the road.
How does that make the time smaller?
I mean,
It's
what's
the
this?
same-
I just.
Either way, it's going to take time, is what he's saying.
We can't proceed without some measures to
Exactly.
protect ourselves.
The fact that we could be scryed are the reason that these people are dead.
So I have to learn, at the very minimum, how to see the invisible. But the item is worthwhile. We don't need to spend enough time to finish more than one. But if I learn how to do more than one, and then I create one myself and teach Katarina and Otheon and Trin, we could all make our own. I'll make another for you. That will be the second one. Yes, that would cover it.
Yes, but we're going to have to wait and take the time here in this town. We have to.
If we don't wait, we'll probably die on the road, being watched every day of what we're doing and where we are. Ambushes set ahead of us on every step. We'll spend the time. Maybe we survive all that crucible, but
What
we'll
else did
spend
this
just as
dragon
much
say
time.
to you?
We should go to the manor to discuss this.
We can at least do that.
Yes. It said it wanted to make. It was personally invested in our misery, and that it would hunt our family and our loved ones and ourselves to the ends of the earth and
It's said that
destroy everything.
The
It's
powerful
something that-
dragon is a terrible enemy to have hanging over you. If it wanted you dead, though, it would have killed you here and just destroyed the town.
because it wants to know
It wants
things that currently only we know. Well, a select few at least.
I don't believe you're in any immediate danger. I think that we have enough time, a minimum of at least a week before they show any interest. If not even possibly a month's time. Or months. It might not even ever cast the spell again.
could just be.
It failed once, it might decide it's too risky to try again, to give away that it's trying to watch. It would more than likely try through other agents, ones that are non-detectable.
So then you've made arguments towards both options.
Yes. I think the choice is yours. I have at least one ring that I can spare.
I have,
And I can make another in a week's time. And that would give you at least two.
Well, then let make it simple. Let us take a vote.
but I have a third suggestion.
What is the suggestion?
Trin, I've seen you modify the memories of people before. Well, one person.
Who?
Yeah, it has its uses. I have that kind of magics.
I can remain undetected. So we could relocate the dragon orbs and then erase everyone's memories. Most
That's
everyone's.
That would take time, but we could do that over the time.
That's a lot of magic there, Pound. That's some high level stuff. And the last time I messed with someone's mind, it
Also,
didn't
do
go so
consider
well.
that the further you are from the target, the more difficult it is to actually complete the scry spell. Regardless of how familiar, if the dragon knows your names, that's the minimum necessary to cast the spell. What else does it actually know about you? A lot of this could just be bluster and fear and playing the games that dragons, especially green ones, like to play anyways. Are we sure it is even capable of casting the spell? It might have said it did.
But what if it used one of the many more than likely magic items that it's had in its lair for years?
Dragons are liars.
Honestly,
Especially green ones.
the only thing that I'm really concerned about is maybe that was the whole point of his interrogation thing they tried to pull off. Get us to go back and try and, hide or manipulate where those things are at.
But we don't have to do that at all. We don't have to do that. I can communicate with Kavira telepathically.
And you should more than likely, if you can speak to them, you should warn Ilyana and Kavira that the Cult of Domination is in fact aware that you are in possession of the orbs.
I can
Not you
contact
physically,
them.
but that the forces of good are.
I can contact them, and they can go to the place where they've hidden them and move them somewhere else.
I still think it's better for us to be safe. Only one of us needs to know where they are.
And if we remove our knowledge of the dragon orbs, will that confuse us as to our quest? Or we're going to the
If we know the
vaults?
knowledge has been removed,
All we need to forget is their exact location.
I don't want
Who's
the-
protecting
I don't
them?
want anyone in my head anymore.
Then you can have one of the rings.
I don't want anyone in my head anymore. I don't like it. No matter what, we're going to have to wait.
Either way, we should come to the manor anyways and discuss
Agreed.
the rest of the details.
agreed.
Should get out to the public. There may be spies, individuals.
Let's go.
Yes,
Let's go.
So he pulls out the key once again and opens the door and leads you back into the same manner that you were in the first time that you discussed it with him. Not
Right
you.
Right before we walk through, can I subtle spell cast detect thoughts just to try to see if he's like deceiving us in any way?
Yeah, sure. You can always try. Let me pull up the tech thoughts.
Little subtlety. Just like her eyes just shush shush. Shush shush shush. Shush shush shush. Don't give me a dirty look.
It's not dirty. It's
Yeah, your
confused.
eyeballs are dirty. Go wash them out. Oh,
So
geez.
I'll just try to detect his like surface level thoughts, because if I go any deeper than just surface level thoughts,
Yep.
he gets to make a wisdom throw, and he
Yeah.
knows that I did it.
Yep.
So I'm just staying surface level. So
As he unlocks the door, he's like, these rubes.
Sucker.
here I am trying to help you.
These fucking guys brought a dragon to my God damn it.
He's like, sucker.
Why didn't they leave already? They said they were leaving.
I'm a chromatic dragon.
Alright, so you
Everyone's a
cast the
chromatic
spell.
dragon.
Second level, one action. Verbal
Yeah,
somatic
one
material.
action, and I subtle spelled it so I don't have to
Concentration.
do anything.
So, yes.
What does the spell look like, though? Like, what happens? It might be subtle, but it doesn't mean you can't do nothing. It just means that it could be a wiggle of the finger would fulfill the
Yeah,
somatic
it'd probably be like
components.
like Sabrina the
Yeah.
Teenage Witch.
Yeah, we were both just same thing and just the.
I'll probably like as he turns around to open the door, like put my hands behind my back and kind of wiggle a little bit. Wiggle my fingers.
Cast a spell behind your back real quick.
Yeah, just real subtle.
I like it.
It doesn't count if you do it behind your back. Don't you cast spells in front of my back.
So, like, how long do you just want to, like, continue? Do you just want to basically leave it on the whole time, like, the whole minute and just pick up everything? Or is there something, like, you just want to know, because it lasts a minute, so you just want, like, a minute's worth of, like, kind of his surface thoughts?
Yeah, just surface level thoughts, like when we are talking about Riven and the dragon orbs and just all the stuff that's going on. If he has any like surface level thoughts that like he's thinking something that he's not telling us or not
Okay.
saying out loud.
So, when the spell first goes off, you kind of tune in, and they start as whispers, and they start becoming slightly more pronounced in your mind. And but it doesn't seem like there's anything that would indicate or like indict any of his like motivations. Doesn't have any ulterior motivations. At surface level, you basically just pick up that it's just worry now from this point. He's worried not about you as individuals. He's worried about the Central Vale. He's worried about Greencrest. He's worried about people he cares about. He has this thought at first at the top where it's really quick that he needs to discuss. He needs to go to Aclaxia and discuss talking to his mentor. Aside from that, you don't pick up anything about like the dragon orbs that he hasn't already said. Most of it's a repeat, like internal dialogue of the things he's already said out loud. Obviously, he's talking to himself, so the verbiage changes, but just reinforcing the kinds of decisions you're in. And then basically when by the time the spell finally ends, he's kind of trailing off trying to remember what he did with the ring and the spell scroll for the see invisibility.
Okay, cool. I'm satisfied.
Well, I'm happy you are, sir. All right. I'm glad I could do that for you. Facilitator over here.
As
Facilitator?
No.
I barely know her.
He barely knows.
He tried.
He barely knows her.
You're like that meme with the like really angry kid, dude. Like holding on. You just like that. Yeah. Okay. So he make yourselves at home and he kind of just allows you to just roam. If you head upstairs, it takes you to the surface level of the manor here in Greencrest. I wouldn't recommend going up there. The wards are meant for downstairs. Nobody's lived upstairs in the manor for years, more or less since our family abandoned it. We should stick to the lower levels. There's not really anything dangerous to ever import, and he kind of walks you through most of the sensitive areas, the studies, the libraries, his alchemical labs and experiments, the places where he works on his spells. He shows you where his teleportation circle is and explains to you that basically just connects to like the other 3 locations of which he travels between when he's traveling, more or less, living in different locations.
Are any of those locations anywhere in Bavadas?
This circle, with your permission.
One of them is in Kriat, though.
With your permission, I would like to copy it into a book.
Is that close?
No, it's pretty far, but that's where one of the dragon tombs is.
It's near my home.
It's fairly close to you.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second
Yeah,
before we
sure.
complete this
Sure.
thought.
Locke is when the tour is over, he's in the lower level where the wards are, just kind of pacing, mumbling to himself about spells that he knows, like sees visibility. And in his time in Emrath, he saw something referencing Earthbind, but never encountered it anywhere else.
So it's like the opposite direction we're going.
Okay, so it'd be way farther away. But one of the dragon tombs is there, so that'd still be useful.
Stuff like that.
Kind of
It's really focused on like what spells will help with the dragons, since they are becoming more of an immediate threat than he thought. So there I am, mumbling. Earthbind. What did it do? The dragon got all defensive when I asked them about it. Seems pretty straightforward. Bind them to the earth. Trent,
What? What?
you're supposed to be a bard and that's travels, learns what they can.
So his 3 circles connect to 3 separate homes in Kriat, Emrath, and Hesperia.
Well, yeah, I do that.
Lore walker or whatever.
So Thane turns and goes, "You have contacts and the way to get information from places. I'm surprised that you haven't already utilized the vast network of spies and informants that the Lower Walkers have at their disposal throughout the Bravashan Empire, even. I know that you're not... I know that it ends in that kind of space because the Silver String Bards kind of more or less are the go-to when it comes to moving further east, but
I'm surprised that you haven't leveraged your vast resources.
Well, you gotta understand, Thane, is my mission goals have kind of changed dramatically since I met up with this bunch. The original goal was just to retrieve something that had been lost, and things have dramatically changed. So it didn't really seem necessary. And now we're finally getting to the point where it's I'm kind of out of my depth, so I'm gonna have to.
What were you supposed to retrieve?
You know, it's
what could have been so important that the lore walkers set you on that path, but didn't set you on the immediate mission of locating the dragon orbs?
Well, they're not inherently totally separate, but
Our memories.
yeah, I'm a specialist as it were. You know, I have very specific talents, and a lot of it has to do with manipulating the mind. These guys had some memories that went missing that may have some very vital consequences. I'm still having some challenges of my own. I've reached out to a couple contacts as far as that goes, but I'm still waiting to hear back.
Memories of our time in hell. Avernus.
You were stuck in Avernus.
For several months.
That's unfortunate.
I can occasionally smell it on them,
No, that would make sense.
sort of.
That'll probably never wash off their souls.
Brimstone is pungent.
Yes.
The memories are just as bad.
What was the towers of high sorcery and magic in Ilithir not able to assist? Or unwilling to assist, as you find sometimes with the moon elves?
A bit unwilling, I suppose, since it wasn't offered.
They more than likely for themselves decided it wasn't relevant.
Elves tend to wait till being asked. Maybe you should have tried that.
Or there are other alternatives, soothsayers,
At the time,
other
I was-
individuals. There are ways to unlock hidden memories.
Yeah, well, there's also we found that there's some active countermeasures that have been put into place that is making it a little extra tricky than just unlocking the memory, as it were.
Like? What are we dealing with?
Seems like some sort of strange, powerful demonic.
The goddess Hecate does not want us to have our memories back.
At this point, Thrym,
So we're dealing with black magic then.
uh-huh.
It's interesting.
Dangerous
Normally,
on many
powerful
levels.
black magic can be undone with similar magic along the same vein and lines. You need to find someone who's capable of and understands the intricacies of dealing with corrupted magic. You won't find that in the towers of high sorcery. But seeing how I've been excommunicated, I have resources that may be able to assist.
Oh,
Dangerous resources.
For sure. The kind of resources where we might have to travel somewhere where nobody really wants to go to access.
And where would that be?
And off. Until next Friday.
Oh my
oh,
god!
jeez. Oh, jeez. Dragons, no. Hello.
What's in that?
Alright, you bunch of maniacs. Alright, we're gonna leave, so we'll see you next Friday, and I hope that your week is as legendary as our night was. So, goodbye.
Bye-bye now!